Okay, you're most welcome once more. So this is one of the series of our classes we always have for this bootcamp. We always run 3 classes a week. That's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, basically from 8 to 8:40. So this is one of the episodes of the classes we're having. So today, what we're going to look at is adding multimedia, for example, like images, adding audios, adding videos, and also creating tables in a HTML document. Of course, the roadmap for our program is big. It is a 5 months bootcamp. So we shall be having regular classes thrice a week for 5 months. Basically, we're working on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, then basically React. So it's basically on the front end part. Then afterwards, we shall go and tackle the back end. That's after finishing the front end. We shall give some period for practice, like 3 months for internship, sort of like that. And then we can embark on back end. So basically, it's a full stack program. So we are going to start by writing a very simple HTML structure. Of course, I'd given it as a task before. However, there are some of us who are just new today. And of course, the IDE you're seeing, the one I'm using is called Visual Studio Code, or maybe somebody who is absolutely new. But of course, for somebody who has an idea of what an IDE is, you should be familiar. But if you're not, like I shared my contact, you can inbox me or you can reply to that invitation you saw. You can be supported. Then you may not be having a PC. Of course, we also have some IDEs which works on the phone, Android, iOS, whatsoever. Okay, so without wasting time, like I said, basically what we're working today is creating tables in HTML, adding images, adding videos, and adding audio in a HTML file or HTML doc. Now, to start with, I gave some instruction on the WhatsApp platform where we were supposed to, by the time we are coming to this call, we must have already created a folder on our desktop. And then we must have been having an audio file, a video file, and of course, an image, which I'm sure maybe some of us have done. If you have not done, still you have room to do. Of course, this call is being recorded and you'll continue from there. So since most of us are new, I'm going to start from writing HTML from scratch. Now here I've opened my IDE. Of course, the HTML we're dealing with here is HTML5. You can choose to search. You can search from there in the search bar, or what you can do, you can just make it to auto-detect. Now, if it is auto-detecting, of course, you have to put the HTML5 identifier. Of course, for this case, we're going to say doc type. Make sure the doc type you're writing, the doc type is in capital, you space, and then you write HTML, you close. So what you're writing is letting the browser know that the file type you're working with is HTML5, so you will save. Now, if you're saving your work, of course, the simplest way of saving work is clicking Control S. So when you click your Control S, it will bring you the option to save. Now, somebody who is on call should make sure they have muted. Of course, it will open your workspace, or let me say in brief, your desktop. Now, when it opens your desktop, of course, me, I'd already created and I'd worked on some projects already. That's why it's able to open. It has gone to my desktop and it has opened the folder, bootcamp resources, and then particularly in the folder projects, because I'd already created. And of course, you can as well create locally on the PC. Now, since I had other things, now let me name this. Let me name this class activity. I'm just naming it like that. Class activity. So this is the name of my what? My HTML doc. Of course, the file extension is here. The type of the file, save as HTML, because I'd already placed doc type and it was in position to identify. Otherwise, if maybe you're writing in another language, of course, the IDE supports very many programming languages. For instance, there is Bash, there is C, there is C#, you know, a lot of languages here. So you'll choose from the one you're using. But of course, this time around, we're working in HTML. So we're going to save our document. When we save our document, we have to specify, okay, we're working on an HTML document. Of course, we shall type in the HTML. We are typing in the HTML tag. We enter, of course, what is next? We are going to the head. Now, the head comprises of a lot of features like the name, the title of the web page you're trying to work on and what so forth. So we are going to put in the head tag. So you'll agree with me, I'll go a little bit fast because we have done most of this already. And it's not part of our class today, actually. Part of our class regarded when you've already written this. Of course, in the head, we are having title. The title is what will be displayed. Let me say the name of your website you're trying to design. Okay, what can be the title for our work we're working today? Let's say creating tables and inserting multimedia components. Okay, fine. Let me just save. Now, if I save here, of course, I'm just saving by controlling S. That's a better shortcut. So I'm going to right click, and then I'll choose to open in a browser. Of course, there are very many browsers. For this case, I want to use Google Chrome. So when I click there, you will realize that's okay. Jeez, let me click on it once more. Quick, let me run it. I closed it. So you realize I've opened you realize I've opened, however, I'm seeing something blank on the browser. But when I see up here, I can be able to see creating tables and inserting multimedia. So that is the title. That is where the head section is. It gives us the metadata about HTML doc. Now, whatever you see on the website is displayed in what we call the body. So we shall come back to our code. We shall come back to the part where there is the body. Of course, the body comes after the head. So we are going to come to our body. Let's start with the H1. H1 is the highest hierarchy in sizes of the tab of headings and what so forth. So we are going. It starts from H1 up to H6. Of course, we have talked about this in several other videos, which if you're new, I'll give you access to. You'll have to understand what we mean by H1, those different levels of headings. So let me see. Okay. Adding images. Let me say adding images. Adding images. So when I save this, remember in the previous work which I'd created, if I click here, at first was blank. Now I can be able to write, I've written something on my website, adding images. Of course, now if I want to add image, like I said, you have to have downloaded an image already. You should be having an image in your local folder. For this case, I created my local folder, which is on my desktop. I've named it here, Bootcamp Resources. So this is my local folder. Now, you as well, you should have already created. That is if you have done, and if you have not, it is okay, you can still create. And of course, this recording will as well be available. Now, what am I going to do? I've already created my folders there. Let me open it up. Let me open my folder. Let me open my resource folder, which I've created. Okay, I'm opening my folder. So I'm going to see the names, how I saved my stuff. Let's say projects, okay. Now here, I've created my folder here. You can see there are very many, some projects I've written on because it's not just for the class today. I have a fruit here. This is an image. I have some image here for school. People who are joining, please make sure you've muted your microphone. I have a video here. I also have an audio there. Like I said, pre to this call, you are supposed to have these things. Now, I want to add these images to my website. I'm adding an image. Let me start with the P tag to explain what the image is about. When I talk about the P tag, I mean the paragraph. Of course, there are other videos where there is deep explanation of this. For you to understand better if you're new, I will still refer you to the previous videos, which I'll give you the links later. Now, a P tag, let me say, images of school, images of school girls going home. Okay, because I've already saved it on my local folder. Now here I'll come to the element of image, how I can add image. Of course, if I want to add image, I'll click here, I'll click IMG, which refers to image. Then I'll click SRC, which specifies the source, like where is the image from. For this case, there are very many ways of getting image. You can get from online sources, but of course, for me, I've downloaded it already. It's better to start with a downloaded one. You can be getting other links later. Of course, you go to a website, get a link, you paste there, which is also fine. But this case, we're working with some on a local device. Now, source, remember I'd named my image here. I've named school. And whenever you're naming images, make sure you have not put a lot of long sentences explaining something, because you can easily get lost, and let the images not have the same names. For example, I've saved school. Again, if I save another school, I won't be in position to understand. Another thing, you should also know the format of the image. Like this is JPG. So the extension of the image, you're supposed to put it. Otherwise, if you put another extension with another image, you'll not be able to display. So now I want to display school girls on my website. Now I've typed IMG, I've clicked on the source. Now I have to specify the image I want here is school girl. And because remember, the image you're working with should be in the same folder with your code. They should be the same folder. The folder where you're writing your codes from should be the very folder again where your image is. You cannot have image on another folder and then your whatever on another folder, then expect it to run. It will not run. And then another thing, the image tag does not close. If you can see, with other HTML docs, when there is title, at the end, there is a bracket and a /. But with the image here, we don't close it that way. Now here, we have put our image. We have named our image as school.jpg. This .jpg is the extension of the type of the image. Now I'm going to space. I'm going to say Alt, school girls. Now, this Alt simply means, for instance, you see sometimes we use different devices and different type of internet. You may find when you have a very poor internet, but you're accessing a web browser. The images may be loading slower. Instead of the image, somebody can be able to identify, okay, this was an image of schoolgirls. If the image is delaying to display, somebody can be able to read schoolgirls. Even if he doesn't see the image, he can be having idea, oh, yeah, what they want to display is schoolgirls. Or it cannot support with people who have disabilities. For example, some people don't see. They are blind. They're blind, I think. Yeah, people don't see. They are blind. So they may be using some assistants, like voice assistants or what, which reads. So the voice assistant cannot read an image. It cannot see an image, but it can read these schoolgirls. So when it is interpreting something for somebody who cannot see, who is disabled, it can be able to read that, okay, here there was schoolgirls, an image of schoolgirls, something like that. So somebody who is having disability can be in position to understand. Okay, so let us save. Let us save, we go to our browser. Of course, to view any change, we have to refresh. Now we are going to refresh our browser. You see, an image is here. We have seen an image, but the image is too big, you see? We have seen the image is too big. Remember, we did not resize it. Another thing, whenever you're putting images on a website, you should make sure that the image you're putting is royalty-free. What do I mean when I talk about royalty-free? I think some of you are not new into programming world, know what we mean by open source and what so forth. There are some open source softwares or resources whereby you can access them for free. You have no copyright issues. But now, when I talk about royalty-free images, there are some websites which give you images which are for free. Of course, these images are sold on the internet, but there are some people who give it for free. Yes, you can download any image on the internet, but if you use it anyhow on a website, you can be fined heavily. Yes, like a country like Uganda, there are less copyright laws. But remember, the web or the internet is something global. It works on global standards. So you can violate rules in the US and you are paid or even jailed. So you should look for images which are royalty-free. Of course, you can use Google royalty-free images for use on website, whatsoever. There are some stock shutter stores where they give free resources. Of course, we shall come to that later. Now, back to our point. Our photo has appeared, but it is too big. It is bigger than the size of the screen. This is now where CSS comes in. which is the cascading style sheet, which we are supposed to look at next week. But I'm just going to introduce that to a small bit of it, of where we are just working on the width and the height of this image. Of course, we cannot deal with something which is big as this. Now, I'm going to come back to my code. The CSS style I'm going to use is inline CSS. I'm not going to dwell on that. We shall start that next week, obviously, where we shall be on CSS so much. But I'm just adding it here. So we are going to say width. Sorry. Let me say width. Because my image is too big, I'll say width. Let me say my width should be 500, not 5,000, 500. Then height. My image height should be 400. So I'm displaying the image. The source is school.jpg. If somebody has disability or the internet is poor, it should be able to read school girls. Then the size of the image, the width should be 500 and the height should be 400. So I'm going to save. Let me come back to my web browser and I refresh. You see, my image has reduced. So that is CSS. It is used to design structure and whatsoever. Of course, we shall look at it more. My big image has now reduced. I can increase, I can interact with it in any way I feel like. Okay. So that is with image. We have successfully added an image. Now, what next we are going to look at? Let's come back to the code. Let's come to adding an audio. Yeah, I think so. So, yeah, sure. Let me use H1 tag again, H1. Or I use H2 this time. The subheading, H2. Adding audio files. Now here I want to add music on a website. Okay, what are we going to do? We have already said adding audios. Let me write some p tag. Simple. Here is our latest audio. Somebody is on call. Please mute yourself. Somebody's microphone is open. Please check your microphone and mute yourself. Semwanga. Okay. Now we have said here is our latest audio. If you refresh, of course, we have seen adding audio files, and here is our latest audio. Now, how are we going to add audio? Okay, we shall come here. Here we use the image tag. So here we are going to use the audio tag. We are going to say audio. Now, if we have said audio, we have to specify the source. Remember, the image tag never had a closing, but the audio tag has a closing. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to open up the source. I'll come and explain these tags one by one later. We're opening up the source. And we are closing. Okay. After the source, we are again clicking SRC to show the source of the audio. For this case, let me check the name of the audio I gave. I gave it Calm Down. I just uploaded this song for Rema, Calm Down. So I'm going to say Calm Down. What type of document, please? This person who is on call and not muted. Please let us mute ourselves, because if we don't mute, we shall be having conflicting choice. Okay. So which type of file are we having here when we're talking about? Okay. Yes, Bright is fine. Let me just type my number quick for you to text me. It will be easier when I get back to you. Okay, you can just text me there or reply to the link which is in whatever group where you got it from. So now here we have said the source is Calm Down. Which type of file is this? Of course, are we having audio? Yeah, we're having an audio type. I think peg. Okay, let me save. Now, before we go, when we just display like this, our audio will not be able to do what? To play. Now, if our audio will not be able to play, because we have not put, this is what we are supposed to put here, controls to, in order for us to be in position to play forward or backward or increase the speed and what so forth. So let's see what happens. We are going to reach. So here we can see our audio is here. When we click on this, we're in position to play our audio from the website. And we can also do what? We can increase the speed. Maybe if we want to play fast. If we want to also change maybe to playing it normal. So we are in position to do what? Put our audio on our web browser. I think we're done with audio. Let's look at how we can add a video. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. Instead of writing the code once more, I'll just copy, I'll paste here. Instead of adding audio files, I'll say adding videos. I'll say adding videos. Here is our latest video. Of course, here I'll change it to video. It will no longer be audio. Video, I have to make sure I've also changed this to video. I have to make sure I've changed this to video as well. What else? Okay. Here it is video also. And now the file type here will not be PEG. It will be now MP4. Remember, my video is MP4, but you should know the format of your video as well. So for this case, my video is MP4. And the name, it is not Calm Down anymore. Calm Down was an MP3. So I'm going to come back here. I just named it as video. But it is very bad to name it as a video. You should name it in a better way for you to understand. I just named it video because I knew it. Now I'm going to clean this off. Then I'll type video. So here I'm done. Let me save. Let me see what happens. So here, I've loaded my video. Let me see whether it can play. Yeah, my video is able to play. But it's again big. What if I want to reduce the size? So what I'm going to do, I'll again still come back to my code. Similarly to what I did here, I can maybe just copy this. Let me copy, and then I come here. Really? I've copied a lot of stuff. Sorry. I've copied a lot of stuff. Let me go back. Oh, let me see what I've done. Seems like I highlighted the longer stuff. Okay, I had not copied only, I'd actually cut the whole stuff. So let me come here. This width was 500. Height was 400. Save. So let me do the same with my video. Let me do the same with my video. I'll come here. I'll put my width. Let me put my width. 400, right? Height as well to 400. Okay, let me save and see what happens to my video. So we can see, here is my image. I was able to add my image. Here is my audio. I was in position to play. And here's my video. So I've been in position to add all this. Now, before we proceed to tables, I would like to get to hear from us. Maybe if there's any question or any other thing, please feel free before we proceed. You can ask questions in regards to this before we proceed to looking at tables.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome.
Very much humble. Man. But now I want to know, it's like I've not had some audio in that video.
Okay, the video which I played on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just downloaded the light video, a royalty free light, a preview actually. It never had audio itself.
So what if you want to add there the audio, whatever, would you include another tag? Or it will just come automatically?
Okay, if I downloaded a video which was having an audio, of course the audio would play on its own.
Yeah.
However, okay, let's do it quick. Let's add some video which has an audio, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me start by first. We are running. Okay, fine. It's cool. Let me see which folder can I open quick. Let me open some folder which has a video. Let me open the folder which has a video quick. Actually, we may arrange another call for the tables because the class we're having today was supposed to be on Friday. I was so fixed. Today we were supposed to work on tables, but already I'm seeing it is warning. So we may just have this class as well. Still fine, there's no problem. We can arrange tomorrow before Wednesday, or instead on Wednesday, we can combine two classes. Well and good. Let me first look for some video. Where do I have videos? I have videos on the hard disk though. Let me check. Check. Okay. I've gotten some video here. Remember to add a video. Hey, let me share the screen. I'm not sharing, sorry. Okay. So I have a folder here. I have the folder for the bootcamp here. Now, for me to be in good position to play whatever folder I'm sharing, I have to be able to have that file in the same folder. Now I'm going to transfer it to the folder which I've named as Bootcamp Resources. Now, this movie is titled B13 Ultimatum. Now, I'm going to come to my code. Now, when I come to my code, of course, we already have we have already written some code for video. So I'm going to copy this same. I'm going to copy. Let me actually zoom these codes for us so that we see clearly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste. So if I've pasted, let me say I don't want to have the same width. Let me increase the width this time around. I want my video to be having a width of 700. The height should be 600. Okay. I'll press my Control S. Remember the source, I'm no longer displaying the same video. It is not now video MP4. The video I'm saving now is B13 Alt. Let me see the name. Yeah, it is B13 Ultimatum. So now I'll type here B. You see it has brought it. It has identified it. Now, which type of video is it? This is not now MP4. This is an AVI. So I have to make sure I change the file type. Now, for example, I have to also add something which overlaps. Let's say the browser is not able to play this type of video. So I want it to tell me that this, it should overlap and say this video is not supported on this browser. That is, if the type of the file I'm playing, the browser cannot support it. Okay, let's save. Then let us see what happens. Let me refresh. Let me refresh. Okay. I can see it has loaded this. It has not loaded this. Okay, it has not loaded the current video. Why? Why hasn't it loaded? Okay, let's check. Is there any problem with our code? Okay. Let me put this back to MP4, but of course the file extension is not MP4. Let me save. Okay. Let me see what happens. It has loaded, but it is not able to play it. Let me see. No, I'm not quite sure. It seems the type of the file extension, we're not getting it right, but it is like .avi, it's supposed to play. And if it is a type which it is not playing, it should be able to overlap and tell us the browser is not supporting this. Okay, let me refresh once more. It has loaded it, however, it has refused to play. Let me check another video quick. Let me check another video quick. Okay, let me check this type of, which type of video is this? Is it a JPEG or what? Let me check the file extension. Is okay. Okay, let me just try one of these. Let me try one of these. Of course, I take it to this folder where I've named projects. It is taking for us years now to transfer. Okay, good. Okay, our movie this time it is Heroes. Okay, I don't want this. I'm going to change it to Heroes. Okay, let me see. This is another type. This is MPG instead. MPG, okay. Let me save and see what happens. It has failed and we're having 30 minutes. Anyway, I should get to know why it's not, but of course the code seems fine. However, I think I can come back to that later. Just text me if I figure it out later shortly. I'll be in position to let you know. But of course, I know it might have problem with the file size. Remember, these are full movies, the one I'm talking about. And some of the movies cannot just be uploaded like that. You have to convert them to a lighter version. So basically, it should be associated with that. These are full movies. But of course, the one I got, this one, I just got a very light 9 minutes, something like that. I downloaded it. I didn't mind about whether it has audio or not. If it was not because of time, we would also get like royalty-free videos. So yeah, when you're looking for images to upload the website, you can type royalty-free images, maybe for educational use and what so forth. There you'll not get problems. But if you search for any image, you download anybody's image, anyone, and put on a website they find, you'll go to jail or you'll pay a lot of fines, which may not be necessary. So let me see royalty-free videos, royalty-free short videos. Short video clips, okay? In these 2 minutes, I don't know. Let me hope the internet will be so quick. Okay. So let me just check one quick. We're remaining with a few minutes. Okay, maybe as we are struggling with this, if there's any other question, because we're remaining with 1 minute, we may continue others on chat. If there's any other question apart from this, well and good. Somebody can go ahead. You can just unmute your microphone or type in the chat, it is okay. If you have any question, feel free. Let me try this whether it has audio. And this also does not have audio. You see this advantage of getting free things also. They're just giving us a preview. This one also does not have audio. But anyway, I'm going to look for anywhere there is at least an audio. Then I'll be able to share with us all. So can we agree, since I'm not seeing any question, can we agree, can we meet tomorrow earlier before tomorrow or the other day earlier so that we look at tables?
Yes, I think we can tomorrow, same time.
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to look at tables. The class today is not over. Actually, what we did today is what we were supposed to have done on Friday. So the activity for today is look for some images which are royalty free, like I said. Get a music, upload, take for me the screenshot of your screen and share. You can share on the inbox or on the WhatsApp platform, it is okay.